This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We continue in the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh. We're up to Ois Zayin. And here the Rosh leaves his normal way of expression because the items which the Rosh said we should distance ourselves from are Gaiva, Chanifus, Sheker, Chazav, Leitsanus, Rechilus, Kas, and now he says Sheyizoher mimichshal hanadarim. One should distance oneself from the pitfalls of Nedarim. Why here does he use the word michshal? So Rav Goldberg quotes Reb Chaim Kanievsky's parish on the Orchos Chaim, namely the Hassam Archoisav and the Makar Chaim Rabbi Yamin Zilber, that the reason why the Rosh adds the word michshal is because Nedarim are sometimes a mitzvah. But what we need to be careful about is to be zohir from the michshal of Nedarim. That if you do make a neder, you should see to it to mekayim the neder. And the neder should not be a michshal. Now another thing we have to think about is why does the Rosh juxtapose Nedarim to oinoas habriois, whether the mamain or bedvarim? What's the connection between michshal nedarim and tricking people or hurting people monetarily or with words? Nedarim, not fulfilling a neder, is a chet bein adam lamakim. Not fulfilling and insulting someone is bein adam lachaveru. What would the connection be between the not fulfilling a neder and oinoas habrihos? So Rav Goldberg brings that from the Reb Chaim Kanievsky and Rabbi Yamin Zilber, that both of them, you're not doing an act biyadayim. It's just with words. Either you're hurting your friend with money, or with you're mitzar him with words, and that's the connection between not fulfilling a neder and oinoas mamain, or oinoas dvarim. Now that's hard to understand because oinoas mamain is could be an action where you sort of fooled him with in a monetary manner. Perhaps we could say that it's to teach that not fulfilling a neder is a certain kind of deceit. It's a certain kind of dishonesty. You made a pledge, perhaps in earshot of other people, and other people think, oh, you're a very generous, wealthy, or magnanimous individual, and you didn't keep it. So there's a certain dishonesty or trickery when it comes to not fulfilling a neder. Now Rav Goldberg brings an amazing Medrash Tanchuma in Parshas Vayishlach, a very frightening Medrash Tanchuma in Parshas Vayishlach, that Rabbi Yanai says, one who makes a neder and does not fulfill it, his bank account is suspect, is being investigated by Hashem. Ploini made a neder on this and this day. Look what happened. Yaakov Avinu made a neder when he went to Aram Naharaim. He says, Vayidar Yaakov neder le'marim, Yelokim imadi. And Hashem visited punishment on Yaakov until he fulfilled his neder. So first, Esav took a very, very generous gift, Izim and Gemalim and Tiyashim. And when Yaakov didn't realize that it was a punishment for not fulfilling his neder, so the Malach attacked Yaakov. Vayivasar Yaakov levadoi, vayavek yeshimai. That's the Samach Mem. And then Yaakov Avinu experienced Tsaras Dina, when he was not margish that it was a punishment for his chatoim. And then Rachel Imenu died, until Hashem says, how long will the tzaddik delay and not realize that he's being punished for not fulfilling an eder? I'm going to have to tell him. So God tells him explicitly, Vayomer lekim el Yaakov, kom alei beisel, v'shev sham. Hashem says to Yaakov, none of these stars happened only because you delayed fulfilling your neder. So we see a davar ayam v'noira. Namely, we see something very frightening, that all the tzars that Yaakov Avinu experienced, whether from Esav or Dina or Misas Rachel, he could have saved himself from if he was Mekayim his neder immediately, but because he delayed fulfilling the neder, he was punished. Therefore we find that Chazal were machmer, not to be nichshal and avoy nedarim. That's why before Rosh Hashanah, the Yom Hadin, So we make sure we do Hataras Nedarim, and before Yom Kippur we have Kol Nidre, because this we have to be very afraid of Michshal Nedarim. Just to conclude, what are the ramifications of Michshal Nedarim? The Rav Goldberg brings down a story in the Sefer Big Day Yesha, in Eben Ezer, Siman Lamed Beis, that when Rabbi Akiva Eiger was in Pozna, in Germany, he was asked about a certain halachic shaila regarding Dayanos, about something that happened in Poland, and he wasn't sure whether he should get involved or not. And this is what Rabbi Akiva Eiger responded. He said, the truth is, I am unworthy that you sent me soliciting my opinion. Baruch Hashem le'alman li'Yisrael. There are many, many gedolim and go'inim in your own communities that the smallest of them is greater than I am. And I'm so busy, and I don't have the time. However, I was once in Bromberg at a simcha, and my friend Rav Hirsch asked me to respond and to get involved, and I didn't answer. I was shoysek, but I'm worried maybe I nodded my head ever so slightly to this Rav, and that was construed as an agreement to, in fact, get involved. And I was afraid that I committed myself, and therefore Rabbi Akiva Eiger says I am compelled to, in fact, get involved in this case, because I'm concerned that perhaps my nodding and my my gesture and my silence may be construed as agreeing to get involved, and therefore Rabbi Akiva Eiger felt compelled to get involved in this particular situation. Now, the Rosh continues, one should distance themselves from hurting briyos, whether monetarily or bidvarim. Again, what is worse? Is it worse to hurt somebody monetarily, or is it worse to hurt somebody with devarim? Sort of Goldberg cites the Gemara B'Mitzion and Chesed Beis, Gadol oinas devarim oinas mamain. Because by oinas devarim it says v'yaresa me'alekecha, and by oinas mamain it does not. Rashi says, because oinas devarim is something which only a person in their heart knows about, others might not sense it. So, interestingly, Rav Goldberg cites the Alter of Kelm, who says that the reason why Nedarim, which is Bein Adam La'Makayim, and Oinas Habriyos, which is Bein Adam La'Chaver, are juxtaposed, is to show that they are interrelated. Even that these two Chelkei HaMitzvahs are connected to each other, and Bein Adam La'Chaveroi is a ladder to climb up to Bein Adam La'Makayim. Like Chazal says, someone who's koifer b'toivasei chaveroi, the next day he'll be koifer b'toivasei shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But Rav Goldberg says it could be understood in the flip side, that only someone who is careful bein adam la'makayim, namely from Nedarim, will eventually be careful not to hurt someone else's feeling, because hurting someone else's feeling really, at the root of it, is bein adam la'makayim, because only God knows whether you're trying to hurt somebody and what your kavana was, and that is why it says v'yaresa me'alekecha by oinas dvarim. Okay, Bez Hashem, we'll pick it up next time in the other two comments of the Rosh in Ois Zayin and Ches. Wishing everybody an easy rest of the Tainus, Gemar Chasima Tova, Bracha v'Hatzlacha.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.